Welcome to the Season 10 Qiyana Guide. Qiyana is an interesting and difficult to master champion, but after spending some time mastering her, the payoff is high. I've played Qiyana for 100 plus games and honestly, she's one of the most fun champion I've ever played. For this video, I've gathered information for the top solo queue and pro players as well as my personal knowledge. Before I start, I want to mention that I will only be covering Qiyana mid this video, but if you're interested in a jungle or top guide, leave a like and I'll do my best. Here are the timestamps. My name is Skizzy, and let's get into the guide.
I don't mean to sound arrogant, but I'm extremely good at everything.
Qiyana is an AD assassin with low cooldowns and high burst damage. She is incredibly powerful in the early to mid game, taking out squishies really fast, but struggles against tanky champions. Let's start off with her abilities. Qiyana's passive does bonus damage to a target. This resets when picking up a new element. Her passive can be procced by her auto attack, Q and E. Qiyana's Q slashes forward in an area dealing damage. If Qiyana has an element equipped, the distance of her range is increased. Qiyana's Q does 3 different things, depending on which element she's holding. Rock can be equipped from any wall on the rift and does bonus damage if an enemy is below 50% HP. Water roots opponent then slows. Grass leaves a stealth trail and gives movement speed. Qiyana's W grabs an element, rock, water, or grass, while dashing forward a short distance. This can also be used to hop through some of the walls on the rift. When Qiyana has an element equipped, her attack speed is increased. Qiyana Z is a dash. If an element is equipped, it procs her passive. Her dash is a fixed distance, which means no matter where you dash from, you will always end up at the end of the indicator. This can be used to dash to enemies, to get your ultimate off, or to escape. Note that the dash can only be applied to enemy minions, jungle monsters, and enemy champions. It will not work on anything else. Finally, her ultimate. This is the most crucial of her abilities and it does massive damage. Qiyana creates a shockwave knocking back enemies. Any river, brush, or wall hit by the shockwave explodes, dealing damage and briefly stunning the enemies. If the ult doesn't hit a wall, bush, or river, your ult will simply push the enemy without doing any damage. This part of her kit is difficult to execute well, but if you manage to pull it off correctly, it could win you a fight. You want to max first Q, E, R, and then W. There are 2 major runes for Qiyana: Domination and Precision, and Domination and Inspiration. For Domination tree, you want to take Electrocute for that high burst damage, Sudden Impact to gain extra damage for your E, Eyeball Collection, Ravenous Hunter for some healing, because Qiyana is a very squishy champion. For the Precision tree, Triumph to get that health after a clutch kill, and Coup de Grace combos really well with her Rock Elemental Q. Inspiration tree, Biscuit Delivery and Time War Tonic combo for the sustain or if against the counter. I personally like to use the Domination and Precision more, but it all comes down to the situation. For summoner spells, Flash is a must. You can escape risky situations, catch up to enemies, and can make some pretty nice combos with Qiyana. For secondary, I usually take Ignite, but Cleanse can be taken too when the enemy has a lot of crowd control. You can also take Teleport if you think you will be bullied out of lane a lot. At the start of the game, you can take Corruption Potion for sustain, or if you want an aggressive start, which I personally love, you can take a Longsword and a refillable potion. You want to start off by building Duskblade or Yomu's Ghostblade first. In certain situations, when getting a head start, you can rush a Tiamat, which you can upgrade to Ravenous Hydra as your last item. Usually you want to take mobility boost for that movement speed, making her gank potential with Youmuu's really great. But you can go Mercury Treads against heavily AP teams, and Ninja Tabby against heavy AD teams. For second item, if you went Duskblade first, get a Youmuu's. If you went Youmuu's, get a Duskblade. If you went Duskblade, you can even go Umbral Glaive to clear vision, or Edge of Night for some defense. Most common third item is Guardian Angel. Qiyana does a lot of damage, but is so squishy that she needs some survivability. You can also go Black Cleaver or Maw of Mount Martinis as your third item. And for the rest of your items, here's an item pool you can choose from, depending on the scenario. I usually go Duskblade first, Moby Boots, Youmuu's, Guardian Angel, Black Cleaver or Maw, finishing it off with either Mortal Reminder, Lord of Mixed Regard, Death Dance, or Umbral Glaive for that third lethality item. Here are some example full builds. I also have a fun build which is going full lethality. I only take this when I'm instantly ahead and the whole enemy team is squishy. Here's a picture of how it looks. Your standard combo will be to pick up an element, wait till the cooldown is finished, then EQ at an enemy, then W and finally Q. If you press Q right after dashing on a target with E, it doesn't matter where you aim your Q, the Q will automatically lock on the target. You can proc your electrocute with a simple EQ and auto attack. WERQWQ auto attack is a full combo that will in most scenarios result in a kill. If you miss any of the abilities, you can still chase because of your low cooldowns. You can always add a flash to your ult to gain distance or get in place to ult. You can also input buffer with flash and ult, casting your ultimate and flashing right away. This makes your ult much harder to react to. Qiyana's first power spike is at level 3. It is almost as cheesy as Talon's level 2. You want to pick up an element, dash into an enemy pressing Q, then pick up a rock element, auto attack them, and when they're below 40% HP, ignite and a rock Q should kill the target. Sadly, you can't kill some champions at level 3. A safe way to check if you can kill a champion is grabbing grass and then using E, auto attack and Q. If you did less damage than 40% of the target's health, you can easily disengage because of the stealth from the grass, then hopping out with your W. Make sure to poke your target as much as possible at level 2, so your chances of getting a kill at level 3 is higher. Although, make sure you only poke if it's a guaranteed hit, because Qiyana uses a lot of mana in the early game.
There will always be someone who is better, and that person is me.
Qiyana's second power spike is at level 6, when she gains access to her ultimate. If you can manage to land your ult, no matter the HP of the enemy, it is almost always guaranteed to kill a mid laner, unless they have barrier or some kind of a shield. As Qiyana, you need to be ready to help your team get Drakes, Heralds, and Barons, because Qiyana's ult is bound to catch a few people, especially if you ult directly into the pit. Make sure to keep check on the timer and if possible, keep your ult for those fights. Qiyana counters consist of Swain, Zed, Mordekaiser, Heimerdinger, Diana, Malphite, Kassadin, Syndra, Fizz, Annie, and Garen. All of these champions make Qiyana have a tough time. They're either tanky, slippery, or they can one-shot combo you. If you get any of these as your enemy laner, make sure to play safe, farm under tower, and wait for your jungler to help you. You can beat these champions with the right plays, especially if you can get ahead of them. Qiyana counters Azir, Corki, Ziggs, Akali, Seraph, Neeko, Veigar, Ahri, Zoe, and Anivia. Qiyana has an easy time against mages, easily killing them after they miss their stun. Note that no matter if you're countered or if you counter someone, you can still win or lose lane regardless. There are many factors that determine winning. Countering only makes your job easier, or if you get countered, harder. I quickly want to talk about what the new Drake system has done for Qiyana. Firstly, if you manage to get the Infernal Drake Soul, Qiyana will be doing insane damage. Secondly, if you're lucky enough to get the Ocean Drake map change, then Qiyana will literally be able to collect water element from almost anywhere. And if you get Elder and manage to hit 5 people with ult, well, it's basically an instant penta. In conclusion, Qiyana is a really fun and amazing champion. Is she broken? Well, kinda, but her high skill cap makes up for it. She has currently a 49.18% win rate right now, which isn't the best. It might take you a few games to get a hang of her, but once you do, you'll be dominating the Rift. Hope you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and good luck for Season 10!
My enemies try their best. That is what is so sad.